All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, it will go better than on Friday did. Friday, so Friday was right after the last Node.js meetup, and so I had taken my entire streaming setup to Code Talent, which is where we had that meetup. And when I came back, I put everything back in the right place, but I didn't actually, plug in my the streaming computer. And so in the middle of the stream on Friday, I hear that like dunk and look over and it's saying, "Oh, your computer's about to force sleep because of lack of power." So I go down, plug it in. It's too late. Turns off in the middle of the stream, and then so reboot the computer, get that going, and then bam, it like forgets internet halfway through the next part of the stream. So that was not exactly the best stream. So hopefully today will be a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna set up my Twitch chat here so I can see it. I didn't do too much rearranging, but looking at the preview icon, it looks like you can see the wrinkles a little bit of the green screen behind me, which I think I need a little bit better light. Luxio TV, good morning. You've seen my videos on YouTube. You didn't think you'd catch a live stream? Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. All right, so you can go here. So on Friday I did try to program. I got some stuff done. So let me show you what I did. I didn't put that on YouTube because I ended it early. It was pretty much of a disaster. So this one hopefully should go much better, and then it will be on YouTube. What we have here, and I'll just run this to begin with. I did make some changes, and those changes caused the frames per second to drop a significant amount. So we have to fix that. And I have some ideas for how to like make the frame rate increase dramatically. But until then, we live with like 9 frames per second. We have the random walkers, and then we also have the attraction walkers. And so the attraction walkers choose a random target that's equal to or smaller than them, and then moves towards it. It does run into a problem though, where it waits until all of them have eaten their target before they all get to choose new targets. So you'll notice that some of these are standing still right now, and they're waiting until the last one eats. So I do have like a problem with my loops to go find them with ECS, and I think that we can just sort of relook through there and figure out what's going on, and maybe not have that problem. Also changed the growth rate to be a lot smaller than it was previously, so they don't get absolutely huge right away. But I'm thinking I can probably fix that. Make it a little bit better faster. All right. Well, with that, I think that's all my major updates for this. So, let's take a look at what I guess the first thing to do would be increase that frame rate, because that's pretty annoying, and I don't want to have to like build it in release mode every single time. And even so, in release mode, I'm only getting like 80 frames per second, which for what I have on the screen is nothing. And I reduced the food down to 100 of them too. So it is, it's missing quite a bit. So here's my thoughts. I'm gonna create a, what is it? Not a component, but a resource that's going to be the I don't know, just like entity resource. So right now we have food. Those are also like everything's a circle right now. Food and all the individual walkers are all circles. So if I just create a single mesh and share that with everything, then I think that we're going to get significant speedups because I'm only going to create the mesh once. So let's derive default struct, and we could call this meshes. And I could even like put in here which mesh it is. That way, later on, if I decide to make to give us like a food mesh that's different, like a triangle, we could just hold this in here. So, if I say like Walker, and you are a graphics mesh, impl meshes function new, we're going to return meshes. All right, so here's where we can create just like a very generic circle. We do need to pull in the context. I remember that. So we need context. Context. And now I should be able to say, so let Walker equals graphics, mesh builder. Okay, so circle of draw mode, so graphics, draw mode, fill. So the location. So when I'm doing this, like I'm gonna just put it up in the top left corner, and then we'll translate it over to where it needs to be. So 0.2 new. Radius. We probably want this to be just a 1.0 radius and then scale it up or down. Tolerance, we need this to be like as small as we can be without crashing the graphics card. And then color, I'm thinking for this, we want it to be white because I want to be able to change the color when we actually draw it. So that way we still get those random colors. So white, and then dot build. We hand it the context, and then we have to unwrap this. All right, I think that works. And then we'll return meshes Walker. Oh, the trait bound mesh default is not satisfied. Required by default. Oh, okay. So I can't do this because default is not implemented for mesh, and we tried implementing a like a default or something on a previous like external struct, and it yelled at us quite a bit. So I'm not allowed to do this. To store the actual mesh in a structure, or not in a structure, in a structure that implements a default. Katali, good morning. Okay, let's. That's sad that I can't use this. I think what I'll have to do is just store it up in here, maybe have like Walker mesh. So graphics, mesh, and then I'll just put this here. We're not getting it. So we need to get the context for this. So we need the context in order to build this, which means we're gonna have to switch the way that our main file is set up. But that will allow us to now have our Walker mesh. This goes away. And the way we can use this is inside of our draw system. So we have context here. We're also going to need to take in the Walker mesh. Yeah. Okay. So I'm almost thinking that like at this point, this might be easier to, instead of a tuple, we make this a full struct like this. And so now we can say we want context. So that's context. We're also going to want our Walker mesh. And if possible, we'd like to make this a reference too. Graphics mesh. So the reason why I want to make this a reference is that we're not like copying it over and over again. If necessary, we will, and we should still get some performance updates, but this would be the best performance. And so down here, instead of creating this mesh, like that's all, this is all just done for us. We just draw. And this would become self.Walker mesh. Graphics draw params.default. Yes, but we're also going to want to now send it to a destination, which is going to be our point to from, and that's going to be our location. So location.0. I think if I do that, that's like the bare minimum. Oh, and this needs to be the context. So this is going to be self.context. Oh, anywhere where I have self.0, this is going to need to be, oh, not there. Just anything within draw system. Okay, so you're going to be self.context. It's thinking about it. Types differ in mutability. How do I need to pass in that you're mute? That you're a reference to mute? Okay, yeah, that's what I need to do. All right, so that should make it happier. Dato, good morning, hello. And Math and Video Games, hello, good morning. All right, so that leaves us with 2 errors in here. Okay, so draw system, we now need to pass in basically our context. So we have context, and then also our Walker mesh. So Walker mesh is going to be self dot Walker mesh. Oh, found reference. Yeah, a reference to the Walker mesh. Okay. Still 5 errors. Cannot borrow in reference as mutable. Well, can I have to tell it that it's mutable, don't I? Like that. Yes, okay, cool. So we only have 1 error left, and that's in our main file. And that's because we're doing it this sort of like the shorthand way, which is not giving us the context. So we need to fix that by remembering how to do, let's see, G main. So this was, okay, so we need to create a new configuration. We do all of this stuff. Right, okay. So let mute configuration equals a new conf. So if I just get rid of, let's see, okay, so name of crate. We need, so we have that to get ecosystem game. Context builder and event, okay. So if I just open you up, GGEZ, and then here we need context builder and event. Okay, so that's you down. And we need conf. Okay, so we have that. Let conf. Okay, so we need to create our conf. Equals conf new. Right. Before we create our game, we're gonna need the context. So here's where we set up our conf. Do this right here. Conf.window setup. Oh, right. Okay, so we can say you are the new title. Come on. My mouse every once in a while decides to double click, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, so we've got you. Then here's where we build the new context, and that gives us the actual context. So, okay, now that we have that, we can add in a context. Expected, oh right, we need mutable reference to context. You think run dim already does that? Really, I thought we didn't have the ability to get the context out of main due to like some craziness, but let's... Where is my browser? There you are. Let's take a look. Let's make sure that I'm not mistaking things. Documentation, and run dim. If we take a look at its source here, yeah, so run doesn't return anything. It like sets, it does set all these things up. We get these contexts, but I don't think we can do anything with the context anymore. And so, yeah, I could run it, but I can't actually then get the context back so that I can create the game, because I need the game, I need the context before this point. And the context is created here. So it's it becomes a chicken and egg problem. Okay, so we got you, and then our run. And the only reason I need the context here, so you don't use you anymore. And don't need you. All right, so no errors. Run, we're not going to use you. We've got a few not used errors. Location, health, and oh right. So we do need to scale. So .dest .scale. Oh, not off of view .scale. And then there. Okay, so it's a vector. It's a mint vector. And so I think that's just a simple array. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. Catalia, yeah, that was the thing that like Danny looked at that and he tried to figure out how to like pass context in so we can get that out. And unfortunately, because it's a mutable reference, that makes it really hard for us to like deal with. And we were, yeah, it was getting a little bit too complex. So we decided like, okay, for simple games, that's perfect. But it looks like we still need this for when we want to like create like a first run thing. Wish you had more time to look into it. Well, I hope that it's a good thing that you don't have time. Okay, so scale, we're going to scale up by the health. So this is going to be health.0, health.0. I need to look up like the default scale so it's a uniform scale. Because I don't remember. Is there like a dot uniform scale? Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Okay, so that scales up by that. Everything should be white to begin with. So let's see if this works. So immediately our frames per second are already faster. That's a really good sign. The other problem is that our we've lost the size of our thing, but everything else seems to be working right. So let's go ahead and bring that back. Dimensions, right? This is gonna be our width and our height divided by 2. I think we just want height. Resizable for this one, we'll just make it false. There we go. So yeah, we're getting almost 60 frames per second in debug mode just by reusing the same mesh over and over and over again. And now we can apply all the colors. Let's see, color. So here's the color. And so off of scale, we should also have a dot color here. And this will just be color dot 0. And now everything should have the original colors they had. All right, perfect. So basically, a little bit of change of how we're drawing, and the game is like right back to where it was, except we've got, I don't know, 10 times, no, not 10 times, like 5 times more frames. You'll probably get 200 plus frames per second release. Let's try it. Let's see what we get. Surprisingly, only around 60 something here. I haven't done any like optimizations in threading yet either, so they're all still in one thread too. I'm surprised that I'm not getting that many more frames in release mode. VSync? Oh, do we? Maybe there might be something that it's doing that we're doing differently in here. Doesn't look like we're doing anything different in here. Yeah, that's the other problem is I have walkers that eat each other and then they both die because they're exactly the same size, and so they technically both are able to eat each other. So there is that edge case. All it takes is like one to be just slightly larger than the other, and then they won't die. So I don't know why it was that much, like not that much faster in release mode. Maybe most of the release mode is in the mesh building, which we just sort of optimized ourselves. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, I need to fix the walker's movement. So down in attraction moves. So let's go over what I did here. So in our update function, we random move. We have the physics system run. We eat, we grow, we contain. So then we have attraction move, which I should probably move up here before our physics system. And choose target and apply drag. So apply drag. So an attraction move, which I think down near the area, down near the bottom. Here it is. Traction move. Context builder new with vsync false. Last day it was 90 frames per second release. Yeah. We can try that. We can try turning off vsync. Let's see, what is that? That's window context builder new with vsync. So here's context builder new. So conf before build, we'll just do dot with vsync false. No method name off of context builder. All right. So it doesn't like that. Oh, it doesn't need to be up here. No, it still doesn't like that. I will turn this on so you can point out anything that I've got wrong here. Is it are we sure it's not like window mode? Let's see if it's, so window setup, window mode. So dot, that's in there. How about you? Vsync, okay. And this takes a bool, so this will be false. So it's on window setup. So it's on the conf, but not on context builder. All right, so if I run you, without the release, so just the standard debug build, we're getting around 50, 54 frames per second. And in release mode, Fletcher Greg, good morning, hello. We're getting around 60, 64, so 10 more frames per second. It feels like I should be getting more, but like vsync isn't helping here. Oh, this is great. They're chasing each other. Which is a terrible idea because the one that's chasing the other one chose its target. Oh, it ate each other and the other one was bigger. Okay, so I've got to fix that too. So that is eating each other and then they both disappearing. So that's not quite good. I kind of feel like I need to rebuild my rebuild this entire system because it's not necessarily doing what I need to do. I need to increase brightness here. All right. Thank you, Fletcher. I think that it's fun to like make these simulations too. It's very interesting. All right, so what have we got moving on here? So in attraction walker, this is going to be moving towards. Well, I guess like maybe instead of like just trying to fix what it is, let's actually like think about what we want it to do. And eventually I'm going to want to break these out into different files because this file is getting a little bit unwieldy. You've been watching your previous streams. The introduction streams where you go through the book to rest has been awesome. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. I wasn't sure how well it would age because obviously a lot of things have happened to the Rust language since then. But I've been noticing other people have been streaming or like recording the book down into YouTube too. So there is good coverage. You thought you'd jump ahead of the moment and see what I'm building right now. Well, awesome. I'm glad that you're doing that now, because if you check like half a year ago, I wasn't on Rust. I was like working on something else. But I'm back to Rust again, so it is fun. And how are you enjoying Rust right now, as you're learning it? Okay, so we want to attraction move. So here's what I think. We need to choose our target, then move towards target. And I guess like maybe even before choose target, we need to decide like, do we even need to move towards, like, choose the target? Should like potentially drop target. So if we're going after something that's larger than us, we probably shouldn't go after it and should choose another target. Don't mention. I'm not saying what book it is. It's like, I don't like it either. I did not put it in my bookcase that I have behind on the other side of the room. It's the Rust book that's much better. It's aged pretty well, I reckon. I haven't come across any legacy code yet. I'm trying to think about where legacy code might exist. Not necessarily with like error handling stuff. There was something that I vaguely remember being really nice. I think it's like just little things that you might not notice. Also, compiling is faster, so that's great. Okay, so we need to drop our target if we have a target. Then if we don't have a target, we need to choose a target. And then we just need to, if we have a target, move towards it. That's it. And so right now, we have this choose target right here. We have the move towards target, but we don't have a drop target. So let's take a look at choose target. Oh, really? You won't? Oh, choose target system. So here. Oh, also I'm like storing RNG and passing it in constantly, so that way we can just use it over and over again. Okay, so write storage, we have target here. And target is an option, I believe. Yeah, it's an option entity. And so maybe it's possible that storing like the entity there is actually hurting our performance too. Because every single one of our attraction walkers is going to store this. Where did I put our target? Choose target. Here, choose target system. Okay. And it doesn't help that it's multiple loop, like it's double loop too. And so here, attraction walker. So we're not guaranteed that we have a let's see, choose target system. So basically at this point in time, if we don't have a target, we need to find one. And so we loop through, we do our standard join loop in the for ECS. And then here we say, okay, if we have a target, so we want to drop this. I think dropping you. Okay, so that our potential target. So we still need to check, like, if we don't have a target at all, we need to just skip. So it was really like a none. I'm almost thinking that a match works for this a little bit better. So if I match on a target, we're going to, it's going to be none. And then we put all this in here. Like that. Otherwise, it's going to be some, but we don't really care because we're just going to break. So we're just going to skip the loop. Mismatch value, expected, struct target, found enum, option. Well, okay. You should be target.0. I continuously forget that I'm storing these in tuples or tuples. Okay. So when we don't have a target, we're gonna create a vector of potential targets. We're gonna now loop through all of the other targets that have health. If I am not the other, so if it's not me, so I can't target myself, and my health is greater than or equal to the other health, then I can go ahead, I'll add that to the list. So once I have now a list of potential targets, I need to check, okay, is that list greater than 0? So are there a bunch of them? Let index equals self.0 gen range. Okay, so I choose a random one in this vector, and that becomes my target. Otherwise, target. So I shouldn't even need to set this, because if I just don't do anything, target remains none. So this is only for setting. Okay. So, and then we'll break if we don't even have like anything else to do. Do we really want to break? I don't think we do. Break stops the loop, which means we're going to stop paying attention to everybody else, which causes those weird problems. So I kind of just don't want to do anything at all. Can I just do that? Yeah, I can. Okay. All right, so this is choose target system. Oh, continue. That's what it is. Continue. Thank you, Katali. Right, I'm so used to just using break for loops instead of continue. All right, so this is choose target system. We also need to refactor the move system, maybe. So let's go find that. Attraction move system. Okay, so with you, I kind of feel that this might be good already. We're just moving towards whatever the other target it is. Okay, so that should be good. We need to add in, where is it? Drop target. Okay, so struct drop target system. Okay, so for drop target system. All right, what do we need in here? There's a few. If our target is bigger than us, and if our target doesn't exist anymore, those are the two things. If our target is bigger than us and our target doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so well, that means we need all the entities. So what is that? Entities like that. If it's bigger than us, so that's read storage, health, and if it's dead, which I think there's a way to check if it's alive, and after we like run the kill on it, the delete, it'll no longer be considered alive. And I think we can do that off of entities. So I think this is all we need. Function run mute self. Now we're going to bring in entities and health. Oh, not exactly like that. This is a tuple. System data, we don't return anything. All right, so you're fine now. Now let's use specs join. Now we'll do our for loop. So for, we're not, this is only going to be health. So for health in health dot join. All right, so everything that has a health now. And so we don't really care about how far away it is. We just care about, is it alive and is it healthier than us? So, oh, we need the target too. So we do need write storage target. So mute target off of here, and we're going to target, view target, join. Okay, so that gives us now the target. Also, don't do that. Don't do that. Adding in that comma at the end kills the, like makes it not work. And RLS is like, no, no, no. Or I guess like Rust format is like, no, 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 you really do want that comma there. Go ahead, add it in. It'll be fine, except it won't. Okay, so run. And so we have our entities, we haven't used those. We haven't used the health or the target yet. What I want to do is, so I guess like there's a couple things here. We have a target, so we don't have a target. That's like one option. Another one option is we have a target. If we have a target, the target is now bigger than us. Target is still good. And target is dead. So like those, I think these are all the different like possibilities for us. So okay, if we don't have a target, so I think what we want to do here is just match. So maybe I'll just do this down here. We're gonna match off of target.0. And so if it's a none, we don't have a target, we don't need a drop then. So this is gonna be a continue. Now, otherwise it's gonna be a sum with some kind of like target in it. And here is where we need to, okay, so we've handled, don't need a target. Now we have a target. The target may be bigger than us, so we have to handle that. So this is an entity, so we need to get that. So let, I think I can do like my other. So let my other equals entity, and I think this is going to be entities.get other entity. I think that's how this works. Oh, and this is going to be an unwrap. No method. Maybe it's double colon. Well, it's not upset about it yet. Okay, so let's hand the other entity and unwrap it. Let's see if that works. Fail to resolve use of undeclared type, because you. So entities in here. Undeclared type or module entities. Oh, you have here. It's coming in. Let's actually just go look at the book. Sort of specs, amethyst. Entity targeting. I know there's a way to get. Oh, okay. So it is different. It's not on entities. It's on one of these collections of entities. But then we're gonna capture active cam, which is that stores an entity. Okay, so that's what it is. It's not entities.get. It's gonna be anything with like health, I think. So health.get, and that's going to be our target. So other entity. Unwrap like that. This is an associated function, not a method. Oh, it's off of this, not the join. Off of this. So I want to say is like my health. So my health. So health.get other entity. That gives us an other. Okay, so I need to check to see if this other entity, I think this is just the other health. Okay, so if other, okay, so if my health dot 0, if that is less than the other health dot 0, okay, so if it's now bigger than us, we want to set, like, to drop our target systems. That's going to be target.0 equals none. Okay, so that handles that. Now it's also possible that the target is still good, in which case we don't want to do anything at all, and then target is dead. So that's another question here, which is, I know there's like a alive, dead. So in specs, is there a way to check is alive? So for these, bug function is alive, off of entity, returns true if the specified entity is alive. So I think we can do that with entities here. Okay, so if entities dot is alive, yeah, that has self and then the entity. So that would be the target.0. Okay, so returns true if the specified entity is alive. So here we're going to say if entities is alive. Now, if it's not alive, so if you're not alive, then I want to target.0 equals none. Otherwise, we just allow you to live on. And oh, this is other entity. All right, so I think this will successfully like drop our target. So drop target system. Okay, so we're going to drop our target. We'll then choose a target, and then we'll move towards the target and then apply drag to all of our walkers. So let's see if we get this working. And like it looks a little bit better. Now, of course, we still have like the eating each other problem, but I think we can fix that with a little bit of logic in there. Ooh, that was fun. Okay, so thread main, called option unwrap on a none value. Okay, so that wasn't good. Now, which one it ran? So there's I like a couple places where that could be. That could be in our drop target system. Where do we have an unwrap? So other, and I guess like here's an unwrap. Here's an unwrap, not there, not there, not there, not there. That shouldn't be it. Huh, okay. So I wonder if it's like get other entity and this is a none. You think it's a mod? Oh wait, am I looking at an old comment? Maybe. I think it. Yeah, I wonder if it's this unwrap here. So we're trying to get the other health, but if this is a none, because the other entity doesn't exist anymore. We're doing, yes, like entity.get, and if this is none, because the other entity doesn't exist anymore, maybe because we deleted it. Okay, so if is alive is maybe not what we need at all. So maybe we don't need the other entities. It's possible that we could just say, okay, we have our other entity. If we match again, so let's now match on health.get. And actually, you know what? We don't have to match. We can do this as a if let. So if let other help, but this is going to have to be a sum. Other health. We don't unwrap now. All right. If my health is, okay, so this way it definitely exists for this specific code. Otherwise, we just skip it and move on. This might be where the problem is, but it might be somewhere else. Let's find out. So far, no crashing, and there's been a bunch of eating. We're still getting this problem where it's just hanging out, not doing anything. While like there's one walker out there who's, like there's no walkers moving. Like I guess like the only walkers moving are the random walkers. They stop when they eat something. Yes, they do. Okay. So I was hoping that like after they ate something, that this would drop the target, because it would say like, hey, the other walker doesn't exist anymore. But I don't think that is true. I wonder if, okay, so entities, other entity. If I have like an else in here, I can do my target.0 equals none. I wonder if that's like as soon as they get eaten, they go, it like now is no longer available. All right, so they ate and they're moving on to the next ones. They're not pausing anymore. Sort of happily going on their merry way and eating everything. All right, I think we got it. You need to choose and then drop instead of dropping and choosing. I think this works. All of the random all the random movers are dead now. They've all been eaten. Okay, there was a eating themselves problem. But besides that, I think it's looking good. They're pretty much going to ignore each other unless, oh, there's one last random walker that's still alive down here. Thank you, Fletcher. It's just gotten lucky that it's not being eaten yet. Oh, there's a chase. And then they died because they ate each other. Okay, so we need to fix... I want to make it so they grow a little bit faster. And so I have this grow by... this grow rate, 50%, like 25%. I think maybe like 75% might be better, so they grow a little bit faster. What else? I can also just make this 1.0. Let's just do that. Other problems to sort of fix here. I want to fix them eating each other and dying. So in eat system. Okay, so in our eat system, we have our health. Okay, so we get my location, my health, and myself. We then loop through again to get the other location, other health, and then the other entity. If I am not the other entity, we check our distance. If we get the distance in pixels. If the distance is less than my health, which is my own size. So like health is based upon size. Then we're going to grow by the other health by times the grow rate. We then delete the other entity. So I think if distance is less than my health, and I think we also need like, nope, .0. And my health, so my health .0 is greater than other health .0. So we need to be bigger than them in order to eat them. And I think that will work better now. So they'll grow a little bit faster, which will hopefully look a little bit better. Oh, this one ran into trouble. It didn't. Oh, right. They're not allowed to eat it because their health is not. They start equal, so greater than or equal to the other one. There is an edge case where they can still eat each other if they're exactly the same size. Which I guess kind of makes sense. But now they can eat the food. And they're going to grow faster and bigger, quicker. Pollux, good morning. No shave November, no shave autumn and winter. So theoretically, they were exactly the same size, which is why they disappeared. I need to see like if they go after each other when one. Yeah, okay, so that ate the other one, and it was not exactly the same size. So that, I guess, like that's a problem is when one is like is that. Thank you very much, Pollux. Beard oil, I don't buy any. I just sort of like bought a little bit of oil and sort of use that. And we have a few more of the random walkers around. They don't really move quite as much anymore. So I need to fix that also. So distance, okay. Other health. You know, I can also say that the winner is going to be the one that has the faster velocity, maybe. So if I get velocity, so that would be read storage, velocity. Velocity in there. Velocity. Velocity, and then we need, oh, this is going to be my velocity. Wait, no. So this is my velocity. This is going to be just velocity. Grow by, oh, grow rate is a, okay, so my velocity. Going to do some work. See you. Have a, yeah, thanks for stopping by, Katali. Have a great day. And then for the other, we need the other velocity. Fletcher, you're off also. Well, have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck continuing with Rust. I hope you continue to enjoy it. All right, so here we have distance is my health. My health is greater than the other health. And then finally, like one last and here, which is going to be my velocity dot 0 is greater than the other velocity dot 0. I wonder if like greater than is set for like, oh yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So I think that should stop them from eating each other properly. And then the last thing is our random move system. What do we got here? So our acceleration plus force times speed 0. I think this is right, but we probably want to make this like more like 10. What happens if 3 of them at the same time collides? Hopefully, one of them eats the other. It hasn't happened so far when I've looked at it, but it's a good question, little anchovy. I think I need to make this 10 because I'm using delta time now. So it was a little bit too slow. So So if I use you, let's see what it looks like. They definitely look a little bit crazier. What happened to our other walkers? Did they? I didn't even notice. Like, I wasn't looking for them. Are they not moving at all? Oh, they're here. I see, like, this one. The random walkers are now taking him out. Oh, you didn't get exactly over the center, and so it... Oh, because not everything has a velocity. And so it's going after food, but it's not allowed to eat the food because the food doesn't have velocity. That's... That's a problem. So our eat system, we can't use velocity because food doesn't have velocity. We have to do something that food has. Otherwise, it won't select them due to how ECS works. Like, our query won't work. Okay, so my velocity, so we're gonna reset you. All right, so save you again. What does food have? So here's our food. We have health, location, and a color. Yeah, I don't know a good way to like work with tiebreakers. So they're if they're exactly the same size, they're going to I guess they're gonna eat each other and like die. So like kill each other off. Just for this, I think we're gonna yeah. I'm is it bad adding velocity to the food but set 0? I mean, I could do that. Like that's one way of potentially handling it. I don't know if that's a good way. Yeah, see those like ate each other. And this is what I would expect to have happen. Is the attraction walkers to win. Because they actually are trying to eat food. There might be some other way of handling this. Of like, and I may have to just like think about it. Now you've it's one essentially. It's not just gonna well, I mean it's one because like there's no other walkers on the screen, just foods. Hmm. I mean, I could add velocity to the food. I mean, the other thing that I was like thinking of is what would happen if I didn't have any food and we just had like attraction walkers and random walkers. Then that would work definitely. So if I like if food was the random walkers. Like let's say I did this. I don't have you, but I create 100 random walkers. What would that even look like? a little bit crazy. I can't even tell where the attraction walkers are because there's only 5 of them, and there's so many of these random walkers that are sort of moving around. The thing is, how can they eat each other? Yeah, and these random walkers are just eating each other at this like lower speed and then dying because they both are allowed to eat. I think that's the problem, is they're both allowed to eat, so they eat each other. And I almost need to like determine like, okay, who's trying to eat who? Well, I could have I can solve this with a boolean. So if I add a food in again, and let's go back to only 5 random walkers because that was just a little bit too crazy. So imagine if I create a component here, not just health, but so if I derive component struct is alive, and this is a boolean. All right, so everyone gets is alive. So dot with is alive, true. You'll need to, well, Lil Anchovy, I'm gonna have to get ready for stand-up pretty soon, so I probably won't be online when you get back. But thanks for stopping by, and have a good meal. And I'll see you next time. Okay, so if I have you, nope, don't want whatever that happened. You're not really happy with that. Okay, so with is alive, true. Just copy it like that. And attraction walker, okay, with is alive, true. All right, so I want, it's like the first one through the list wins. That's just the unfortunate, like how this is gonna work. So we want to go down to eat system. We're gonna read storage is alive. Okay, so this first one is alive off of here. Oh, and we probably want this to actually be right. So write storage is alive. So you're mutable. Am I alive? Mute to is alive. And then we want the other. So other is alive. And this is mute is alive. Oh, this is a problem. So I can't, I don't need this. I don't need to borrow it twice, do I? Because like, I'm not going to be able to borrow this mutably twice, I don't think. Although right now, it's not yelling at me about this specifically. So that's kind of strange. I would have expected that it would. Oh. Where did this come from? Now you should yell at me about that. Yeah, okay, so cannot borrow this twice. So it's mutable, is alive. Okay, so if I'm alive, I don't even know if I need to join myself with I am alive. I need to join the other is alive and then set that. So I tell the other one, you're dead now, or you're not alive. And if, oh yeah, I don't think this works. Because it's gonna need, like, if it happens at exactly the same time, they're gonna eat each other, and they're gonna die that way. So I think I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more specifically. But this entire is alive. I don't think that's gonna work because I can't run them both mutably at the same time. So I think this is the best we can do right this second. What are you upset about? Because I somehow undid your comment. And let's go ahead and run this, and we'll just see who wins this last time. We still have four random walkers left and 4 attraction walkers. Now I could switch different types of eating to basically say, okay, eat food and then eat other walkers, and that might help out a bit. It especially might help if I put those into threads, because then it can like eat both of them at the same time. And we can play with their speeds. Attraction walkers. Good morning, Crossbow. Attraction walkers are these two. They're basically just attracted towards a target, and then they just move towards the target straight. This one definitely is going to win. Yep. It doesn't even know to move around because there's no other targets left. And so then this guy wins. It just gave up and died. All right. Well, I've got to get ready for my morning stand-up and then head off to work. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm doing these streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. This week is a little bit special because there is the Thanksgiving holiday here in America. So I am Friday morning is a holiday, so I don't have to go to work. So I might do a slightly longer stream. We'll see how it ends up working out. Besides that, though, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time, which should be Wednesday morning. All right, bye.